It's just as important. Please save the medical mask, the N95s for the healthcare workers, because the cloth facial coverings are effective, as far as we know right now, based on the best available evidence, at preventing you from spreading disease to other people. So no inconsistency there. It's just the recommendation changed because the information changed, and that's what you want from your public health leaders.
And the argument made that you knew about asymptomatic transmission at the time that you said that, and that you were essentially misleading the public. So that
the honest answer to you is no, we did not. That was the recommendation of the World Health Organization and the CDC, and we gave you the best information we could at the time. So I actually a little bit resent that implication, because I work hard to try to protect the American people, and we are always going to give the American people the best information we have available at the time. And we're humble enough to say, look, if we don't know, we're going to change. We're going to change those recommendations.
Just a wise guy question, that's all. Please, go ahead.
Mr. President, I wanted to ask you about the launch of the military satellite by Iran. Wanted to get your response to that. Do you see this as an advancement of the missile program?
You mean the shot they took? Well, they say no. Okay, they say all sorts of, it was for television. Does anybody really believe that? They want to have better television in Iran. So they say no. We're watching Iran very closely, very closely. We know more about Iran than they do. Right now, we know more than they do. So we know all about it. We watched it. We knew it was going up. We followed it very closely. They say it was for television. Yes, please. Finish up there, please.
Yeah, very quickly. Are you concerned that they see this as a potential vulnerability on the part of the United States? There's the outbreak.
What is it,
Military readiness, the outbreak on the Roosevelt, the fact that you're consumed with dealing with coronavirus here in the United States.
Various navies have had outbreaks of COVID. Look, we're in 184 different nations right now. 184, the COVID. No, we have a problem, and that just shows you how rapidly it spreads. It started off with 2 sailors, and then 10 sailors, and 20, and now I hear it's 540, of which one's died and a few are very sick, but most of them are back in great shape. But we did lose one, and it attacked the lungs of that young person. And then we also had a number that were quite sick, but they're all either better or getting better, but most of them are better for a long time already. Okay, please.
Thank you, Mr. President. As you know, over the course of the past few weeks, there have been the closures of several meat processing companies across the country in several states.
Yeah.
Is this a concern to you? Are you going to increase testing in these facilities?
Look at South Dakota, how well the governor's. Yeah, look at South Dakota, how well the governor's done there, and all of a sudden you have a big spike in one location, and she's got that very much under control, as you know. But nevertheless, that was surprising, and they had a big one right near where you were yesterday, as I understand it. And so, yeah, we're concerned about that. They're closing 1 or 2 of the plants, actually.
Is the food supply secure?
Yes, totally secure. It's in great shape. Yeah, the back, here you go.
Thank you, Mr. President. The Attorney General in the state of Missouri filed a law case against China, accusing it of lying and covering up about the origin of the virus.
Yeah.
Do you support that? And do you call
I haven't seen the case. I know about the case. He filed a case against China. I love Missouri, as you know. It's great. But I'm going to take a look at it. I actually know about it very much. I have to take a look at it. I have not seen the case in terms of reading it, but I will be doing that.
Good for international investigation.
Well, we're going to have to take a look. Oh, we're doing investigations. We're doing our own. But I do want to see and review that lawsuit. I'm sure that won't be the last one. Yeah.
I just had a follow-up question for Dr. Fauci, if you don't mind.
Yeah, sure.
I'm happy to ask you one after. John had asked the president about Rick Bright, and he said he wasn't sure who that was, but I'm sure you're familiar who he is since he was the head of BARDA. So there's this concern or an accusation he's raised that he was removed from his job because he protested widespread use of hydroxychloroquine. Are you familiar with this situation, and do you feel like public health experts feel they are able to speak publicly or to speak out in opposition to things? Yeah. So you don't feel like there's any concern among people at the NIH right now or in the public health
At
community?
the NIH, absolutely not.
Dr. Fauci, knowing Dr. Bright and knowing what his gifts are as one of the country's leading experts on vaccines, are those gifts best suited at NIH rather than BARDA? What's he going to be doing with you?
What is he going to be doing at the NIH?
Well, are his gifts best suited to work with you rather than BARDA?
I don't really think I can comment on somebody's relative gifts. I mean, he's going to be at the NIH and he's going to be responsible. From what I hear, again, this is what I've heard, that he's going to be responsible for the development of diagnostics, which is very, very important. The NIH is going to be involved in trying to develop new generation diagnostics, which we feel is going to be very important for the future of being able to facilitate the kinds of things that now are sometimes problematic.
Are you
And why did you
concerned at all
say he
that-
has great gifts or gifts? What, do you know him? No, but have you reviewed him? Have you studied him? Have you reported on him? You said his gifts. I mean,
His entire career.
well, that doesn't mean you have gifts. I know a lot of people, they play baseball, but they can't hit 150
Well, we
in the
talked
major
about the
leagues.
flu vaccine last
No,
year.
but you talk about his great gifts. Go ahead, please. Please, go ahead. You can go, please.
Thank you, sir. I have two questions, one for myself and then one for a colleague of ours who cannot be here today because of social distancing.
From where?
I'm with the USA Today. First, the executive director of the National Association of Counties said today that the White House did not want to see money for local and state and local governments in the latest COVID assistance package.
And they didn't want to say what? What does that mean? Tell me.
I'm sorry.
What does it mean? Repeat it. Say it a little differently.
The executive director of the National Association of Counties said today that the White House objected to putting funding for state and local governments into the latest COVID assistance
Oh, really? That's
package.
interesting. Is he a Democrat?
I do not know.
Well,
sir.
check it. How could you ask that question without? Check it out. You'll find out.
I'll check it out.
Okay, what's the next
He says- His question was,
You know the
what-
numbers, you know the money we put into states, local governments, everything else, and they have to be responsible for their own finances. But you check it out. Go ahead. What's the next?
Well, was he said that you felt like that this would somehow be a disincentive for states to open their economies. Is he correct about that?
How would he know what I felt? I never spoke to him. I don't even know who he is. You don't know who he is either.
Yes, his name is Matthew Chase, sir.
Okay, it doesn't help me and it doesn't help you. Okay, go ahead, Jim.
Mr. President, also a
Do we want to keep going a little while longer or
yes.
no? You're not going to say, oh, he took questions all night long. Okay, right?
Yes,
Right?
please, thank you.
Okay, well, good. How many questions can you ask? Go ahead. We will have fun because we're talking about something very important. The main thing is, I think we're getting to a lot of solutions. We never want this to happen again. We never want this to happen again. What happened? And if it should come back in some form, we want to snuff it out very quickly before anything can happen. And I personally hope it doesn't come back in the fall as a combination of the flu or not as a combination of the flu. But I think we learn a lot. And, you know, some of these questions are good. Some of them are ridiculous, frankly, but some of them are very, I think some of them are very important questions. Very important. You know, when you asked Dr. Fauci about the right to speak, if I let him speak, I'll let anybody speak. And we love him. Let's go.
Mr. President, Senator McConnell said today that he would prefer to see states that have high public pensions declare bankruptcy rather than taking on more.
I heard he said that.
federal bailout money.
I don't know what he said. I'll have to call him and ask him.
That's what he said.
Well, that's okay. I'm going to have to look at it directly.
Would you agree with him on that?
I
or-
can't tell you that. I have to see. I want to base it on fact and reason. I want to see what he said. You know, why he said it and how he said it. I'd have to watch him say it. But some of the states are not doing well. Let's face it, and some are doing phenomenally well. A state where Mike was governor, Indiana. I looked at their numbers. They have. It's incredible what they're doing. Some states are doing fantastically well. Iowa is doing great. You have states doing well, and you have some states that aren't doing well. We know the ones. I don't have to mention the ones that aren't doing well, but you do have states that are in trouble, and certainly they're coming back to talk to us. We'll see what happens.
Are you concerned, sir, about the growing U.S. national debt as a result of these
Well, we
stimulus
have no
packages?
choice. Do we have a choice? Yeah, I'm always concerned about everything. We had to fix this problem. We were attacked. This was an attack. This wasn't just, oh, gee. I And this wasn't the flu, by the way. You know, they like to say the flu. Nobody's ever seen anything like this. 1917 was the last time. We were attacked. We had the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the greatest economy, better than China, better than any place. They will tell you that. And I dealt with them for a long time, and they will tell you we had the greatest economy. We built it in the last 3 years, 3.5 years. We built it. And then one day they came and they said, you have to close it. I said, you got to be, these people right here, they said, you have to, they came into my office, into the Oval Office, and they said, we have to close the economy. I said, let's explain this. Explain this to me. The greatest ever in history, and we had to close it. Now we're going to open it again, and we're going to be just as strong or stronger. But you have to spend some money to get it back open. We saved our airlines. We just, as you know, finished up with the airlines. We saved numerous companies that are great companies that 2 months ago were having the best year they've ever had. Now all of a sudden they're totally shut out of markets. There was a great spirit today. You know, the fact is some of the governors are opening up their states. And I saw it, I feel it. I don't know if you folks feel it. I feel it. There was a great spirit today. I don't know, the stock market was up today, I guess. It was up quite a bit when I just walked out here. And I will say, I feel much different today than I did 2 or 3 days ago. And I think the world does. We spoke to a lot of leaders. The world feels that we're really leading a path of optimism. The European Union's having a lot of difficulty. You know, you take a look at what's going on with the European Union. It's having tremendous difficulty. But we're going to be back, and we're going to be back stronger than ever. We're going to be at a level, I think, that everybody's going to be and they do, they look up to us. They want to know, what are we doing? What are we doing with therapeutics? What are we doing with vaccines? We're going to have those answers too. We're going to have them. Just like we took care of ventilators, just like we're taking care of, and already, as we said 100 times, we had more testing than any nation in the world. We had more testing than all of those nations put together that we mentioned the other day, all of them put together. And we're going to be, within 2 weeks, at a level that nobody's ever even seen before. They've never seen where we are right now. You don't have to build new machines. You don't have to build new labs. We already have them. But some of the labs are even upgrading to be able to double and triple their capacity in one case. Now, we're at a level that nobody's ever been. We're going to be bigger, better, and stronger than ever before. So I'm not concerned about that. Thank you very much.
Would you change your mind if Dr. Tedros was replaced?
There you have it. Long briefing this evening, 7:47 Eastern Time. Good evening, everybody. I'm Martha McCallum, and this is The Story. So we did hear a number of things, just to sort of recap.